Hello class, good morning. Today we will be learning about communism. Now communism was thought up by an ingenious man named Karl Marx. Now Karl Marx was born in Prussia in 1818 and began exploring sociopolitical theories as he traveled Europe picking up different socio-economical ideals, and was finally introduced to communism by Moses Hess in Brussels. Karl Marx was infatuated with this idea of communism, and he and another socialist, Engels, then wrote the Communist Manifesto, in which he outlined the requirements for a communist society and showed a new approach to the struggles of the poor through governmental ownership and of all private property. Karl Marx says in the Communist Manifesto that the theory of communism may be summed up in one sentence: abolish all private property. Now I think he was right with this whole communist thing, because the advantages of communism are quite large. The first advantage is that the Central Planning Authority sets all prices for goods. This allows for no sort of inflation that can affect the economy. The labor and resources in a communist society also are strictly controlled by the government, who know what to do with it the most. They're the ones with the most intelligence, and they know how to use all of the capital that they have.
Hey, whoa. You can't talk about communism here. This is America. Communism has a lot of disadvantages. For example, freedom is lost, there's no work incentives, and it fails to meet the needs of the consumers because they don't have input. Plus, there's a high priority on military effectiveness, which costs a lot of money. Class, I'm here to tell you about a way more important man than Karl Marx. His name is Adam Smith. Smith was an important figure in economics and philosophy in France by his early 30s. In 1776, he wrote Wealth of Nations, which is the first book dedicated to the study of economics. Capitalism can be summed up in one sentence: every man lives by exchanging. As you can see in the graph behind me, capitalism involves free trade, which is the best type of economy, while communism has a command economy, which is the worst type of economy.
I think that you're wrong. Communism eliminates any sort of risk-taking on the consumer. Therefore, the government is in control and takes all penalties if anything goes wrong. Also, it makes everyone equals and attempts to eliminate the class differences. Karl Marx also said that the rich will do anything for the poor but get off their backs, which I think is correct.
That's not true. The real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. Some of the advantages of capitalism are: there's efficiency, which means that resources directed towards the most profitable use ideally. There's freedom to do, own, and trade what you want, and it is highly decentralized. Consumers and producers jointly decide the key economic questions.
Yes, but there are many disadvantages to capitalism as well, class. The disadvantages include that it does not satisfy everyone's needs, especially the poor. The poor are underrepresented in a capitalist society. Also, it ignores all public services such as public roads and transportation services. Also, they produce goods that have demand, and they ignore anybody's needs that do not fit the demand, such as the poor.
None of those are true. Capitalism is way better.